Welcome on in, my friends. It is Victory Road Unite Clash number 14, and this is the grand finals. I am Dr. Kendo, and I am here with my co-commentating friend, partner in casting crimes, Kanashi.
What's up, everybody? We are hopping into our grand finals match coming up right now. We have the great matchup between TTV and Tacenda Black, and this is just a really interesting matchup.
Tacenda Black right there for our purple right now. TTV on orange. You see Lutano just locked in on the 3 heads, so we love to see it.
Yeah, this time 3 head is not actually an insult, but rather a just a fact that we are going to go ahead and get into this match. Both of these teams running the kind of unorthodox compositions that they were showing us throughout the rest of this tournament so far. Once again, just a quick reminder, Grand Finals is a best of 5, so we are going to be getting into these kind of longer matches, but definitely a lot closer matches as well. So 2 very, very different play styles and thoughts going into this first match that we do have here today.
And so you definitely want to see if these teams are going to do something we mentioned before throwing to break, essentially, before this, was that these were 2 teams that started today's tourney broadcast matches, at least, with a lot of fire. They just came out intense from the start. So that means they scored a lot, whether it was the 3-point values, the 5s, the 1s, but also those wild Pokemon. I mean, they were just vicious, both of these teams. So if both of them actually do end up sort of going with this strategy, you just have to wonder, it's really up to skill, and the individual players perhaps to overcome that, and which one's going to come out on top.
Yeah, and I feel like this is going to be something that's a little more interesting when it comes down to the way how they want to play this out and how they want to figure out their strategy. Is this going to be something that after game 1, teams are just going to go ahead and flip their whole script going forward, or do they stick to their guns and just try to find a way how to go ahead and punish these?
So right now, it looks like Freak dropping very low as that Absol could still escape unless Retsu does that. So perfect. Retsu, wonderful job to be able to go ahead and bring down Absol here early on, because that also will leave you an opportunity to score, and then maybe go ahead and take down Oblivion would be nice, because you're going to steal the Citrus. Oblivion does get another Citrus, being that there was 2 right there, but it was a good opportunity just to create some chaos right here and come in again with that early aggression for TTV.
Yeah, and this is something that I do like about the Pikachu Electro Web being more of a support play here, is that they're going to go ahead and lock down these kind of speedster Pokemon and allow them to go ahead and get these cleanup kills. Lutano already sprinting into the back, trying to build up that sprint gauge, looking at somebody else this time. Can they do it? They don't really need to worry about that. They are going to go ahead and lose 1, but TTV still applying more pressure to this top force, going in for the sleep. Gonna go ahead and get that on Retsu, but Retsu's just gonna go ahead and walk away, just try to create a little bit of space between them and the Wigglytuff at the moment. But yeah, very interesting start to this match so far.
They did sword away, didn't they? It's like walk away, but sword away, huh? But anyway, you're going to see the slight central invade, actually, sort of on both sides, you could call it. But Lutano clearly going to bring down the Haunter right here in quite the vicious display of pecking and scratching, and so it was very nicely done. We are going to see, obviously, though, on the other side, the flip side, it was actually Absol dropped as well for Tacenda Black. And so right now, TTV... Tacenda, they are even in score, but you kind of notice this feeling, and you're seeing it, you're observing it. You also look at the levels. TTV certainly coming out aggressive with the fights.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and bring down a couple of players here, actually. Winning up at top lane, like KOing Retsu, and now they're going to go ahead and try to break this top goal, maybe apply a lot more pressure. We'll see if that is the case. You do see the Surf trying to keep them away, but Toon dropping dangerously low. Actually going to get brought down this time. Indy trying to create a little bit of space, but we'll see if they break. Yes, they do. They're going to break with 1 over Retsu, already caught out here. Sleep coming out from Forest, going to go ahead and bring down Indy as well. And Tacenda Black trying to push even harder, already scoring on tier 2 and trying to create more space for that Regieleki.
And so this is what we were talking about. It gets very interesting at this point, my friends. Look at this. Lutano now just vicious with that bird. It was looking very nice with the high jump. And so anyway, actually going to high jump to avoid terrain too. So this was very nice. But aside from that, what we were mentioning before was just that it does come down to the teams. It does come down to exactly how they play it. Maybe skill, of course, too, but it's just what happens in these matches. You know, is it the luck of the draw, the cookie crumbles, or was it your skill individually? Both are going to factor in with all this micro play.
Yeah, we do see the way how they are kind of positioning themselves. Registeel already down here. Zug just giving them some information, getting ready for it. We do see the Mew Unite going to go ahead and start things off here, just trying to create a little bit of damage, but the burst is going to go. Zugrug's going to be able to secure that down, and the sprint coming straight through from Lutano, trying to go ahead and look for more, but Bora swimming through land, trying to go ahead and find another pickoff. Going to go and find Indie Bear, but is going to be caught out kind of in the middle of no man's land, and the last hit going towards Toon there. You do see Lutano trying to score a little bit in here, trying to get it as close to that number as possible, but trying to chip away, running away, sprinting back. Never mind. Just trying to build up that sprint gauge, possibly going to go and help out Toon start up this fight. Going to go and get that KO real quick, but looks like they might disengage and might head up to top.
Well, it's nice also with Dodrio. You get the advent, I guess, of tri-attack and stuff. Usually that's what you're going to see people running right now. Notice, of course, Forest is going to drop right here. That was the Wigglytuff for Tacenda. It was looking pretty bad for them, and the same is going to happen for Gengar right here, thanks to our Ganondorf sword, Retsu, who does maybe have a small window open right here, but you're not going to probably overcap that at 1 unless things get really kind of touchy. Will actually be brought down by Freak right there, and Freak also going to be brought down. So, vicious display from both of these teams, but we're keeping this still very close on score.
Yeah, Indy is just creating this kind of zone space, utilizing the Volt Tackle and the Electro Ball. Just kind of deal damage, get the slows, and also like kind of set up for the team. It's something that this kind of support Pikachu playstyle really lends itself to. Just trying to go ahead and slow down Bora. Bora already has a curse onto them. Indy dropping dangerously low. The sure hit going to be there, and the Volt Tackle going to clean that up. Really good turnaround, but Lutano getting quadruple team down here in the enemy central area. It's going to be the case. You do see Toon trying to get out as well. It's not going to be the case. Tacenda Black going to clean up 2 more of the teammates here. But TTV already in position to go ahead and play a little bit of defense.
What a wonderful showtime earlier from Mr. Mime. And you want to speak about Unite moves. They are still flying there because you saw the Midnight Slash that did end up presenting for a goal for Tacenda Black. It will bring down the sword as well. The sword also, Aegislash bringing in the coup de grace. And it's just, we are seeing a very, very intense match here. Like, this is exactly what we want to see from Unite, and especially on this map. Everybody's playing to strengths. Everybody's playing a pretty good micro, but also the macro game is here. Look at this. Registeel is dropping down pretty low right now. Team fights happening, and it's kind of just all over the place. So you're going to see the best of these teams, I think, right here.
Yeah, TTV is going to go ahead and secure that down for us. Already getting that sleep onto Lutano, but Retsu's already there to go ahead and shred that through. We will see if they are going to disengage from this fight, or they're going to go ahead and apply pressure. You already see Zug scoring a quick 3 up at top, but the Jungle Invade once again coming through from Lutano.
Speaking of Lutano right there, full pockets as that Dodrio, and speaking of full pockets, it's going to be Mew dunking in those. What a goal, 50 right now for TTV. Going to set them apart a little bit, you know, as we were very much maybe 1 or even 0 score tied earlier on in this match. We are seeing as we get closer and closer to that final stretch, TTV widening that gap by a small margin when you talk about final stretch points, because if you're within 100, maybe even 200, that final stretch is still open for you.
Yeah, and they are trying to go ahead and bring down Lutano. They have the pursuit. The Midnight Slash going to not quite get that, but the rest of the team is already on top of them. Going to go ahead and bring down the 3-headed bird. But 3 minutes in this game remaining, about a minute left until final stretch. So we'll see how well these teams are going to try to apply pressure. Bora getting pushed off by Retsu to go ahead and start this up. But thing to keep in mind, Aleki going to have 30 seconds here in right before we go ahead and push into this final stretch here.
And so certainly an opportunity for one team to create some pressure. It's just, when do you take it down? You know, you obviously want to take it down if it's a contest and both teams are going for it. You want to be the team to take it, right? But if you have your pick, you want to get it right before that final stretch, create that pressure where they either have to ignore it or deal with it. And so here, Retsu, ignore him or deal with him? No, Retsu going to take him out. And so Freak dropping pretty low, but able to escape with that life intact. You're noticing that there was a score simultaneously while all this was going down for Tacenda right here. So Reggie Eliki will now be advancing towards that goal zone. And so that means TTV is going to pick that up and then probably establish themselves ready for this final stretch in just 3 seconds.
Yeah, and that is the main goal, the back goal that is being threatened here by that Reggie Eliki. So teams either have to go for it or try to create a little bit of space. You do see Zug following right behind it, and Lutano trying to create a little bit of space. Going to be able to find the first one, utilizing Toon Slim. There goes the Surf to go ahead and create a little bit of space. Do see the Starlight Recital going to be popped up here. Showtime also by Zugrug, just to maybe give him a little bit of space to get out. Surf going to go ahead and push him back. Mew dropping dangerously low, going to go ahead and pop that Unite move. Go ahead and get out. But meanwhile, TTV was already at Ray. Going to go ahead and burst that down, allowing the Bird maybe get these quick dunks in. Yes, indeed. Lutano going to go ahead and secure that down. Now the rest of TTV just kind of pushing it forward and not allowing Tacenda Black to really get a foothold here. TTV going to be taking game 1.
You saw the Hundo Duncan fly, but you also saw the Bird Duncan, and so the Dodrio still getting in those during the final stretch. Lots of scoring there with that Ray. Looking good. So TTV with a score of 500 to 251 for Tacenda. And you gotta say, Kanashi, something that you gotta note is that what was really nice is that this is taking us once again back to the original TTV Gaming Gladiators, whatever time zone, of course, you analyze them. But the craftiness, it's the craftiness, the cunning of this team. They were just, to me, it was really a marvel to see because Zug at that 225, Lutano at 172. But even if you're noticing 22, 23, it wasn't about those scoring. It was about how did everybody play their part. Yes, we've been talking about that a lot too. But it was just the sneakiness. Every single moment of that match, TTV seemed like they had it kind of under control.
Yeah, it was something that I kind of mentioned. In order to kind of slow up Tacenda Black was to prevent the levels from getting out of hand really early. And that is the joy of having somebody like Lutano on this team, utilizing that Dodrio, and not only just to get the sprint gauge and get a quick burst down, but also having the ability to sprint across the map. You don't need the Salic berries in order to get up and down the map really quickly. So Lutano utilizing that in order to go ahead and get around to these fights and making it really difficult for Tacenda Black to really get levels going their way. Another thing that I do like, once again, you mentioned the craftiness of TTV and the way how they play this. The thing that they do is that they make you have to think about where you want to go with it. So because they did their work early, they broke those front 2 goals at top. Once Aleki starts walking, it's like, that's your main goal. That's the one that you can dunk as much as possible in. So now you have to deal with that. But you also have the threat of somebody going down to bottom and breaking that goal. But you also have the threat of somebody taking Ray. So what they did instead is they're like, we're just going to run 3 with the Aleki. If it's only Bora, you KO Bora and you go score. If they don't do that, then you have to just straight back up to Ray. You win Ray. So it's like they did the work early, and that is something that Thea Sky Ruins really lends itself to. It's like you can win the game in the 8 minutes and not have to worry about the big bird in the middle. You could actually just kind of work your way and try to figure out ways to give you an advantageous position going into the final stretch.
Just kind of, I'll finish talking here with just the note that TTV, of course, playing on purple now, Tacenda Black on orange.
Yeah, Tacenda Black this time going to go ahead and still run the same concept that they were running in the previous matches. This is really interesting. I mean, I do like the way how both these teams are facing off against each other, trying to figure out kind of this chess match that we have going on of speed versus burst, who's gonna land what. And yeah, it's been a really interesting matchup so far, and I'm really excited to see how these teams are gonna go ahead and face off once again. What are the minor adjustments that are gonna be made? Is Tacenda Black gonna if they go down 2-0, are they still gonna run this exact lineup, or are they gonna go ahead and change things up, or maybe they just have a different approach moving into this next match?
We want to thank you so much for viewing at home, ladies and gentlemen. Get hyped, cheer on your favorite team right here. We are entering game 2, and thank you so much to Nick Starr, who's saying great analysis, guys, throwing down the hearts for us in the chat. We do appreciate anybody. We're reading those, and yes, this is the ready go, my friends, for game 2. TTV taking game 1 if you're just now joining us, and yes, they are playing their hearts out on both of these squads. The pressure is often on early, so be looking out for every single move that they do every minute of this game.
Yeah, once again, it's just a matter of trying to figure out how you're creating space for your team, how are you getting some of the damage going your way, and how can you just keep your advantage moving forward. So we do see the way how TTV is playing. This is something that a lot of pro teams have been discussing. It's like, is it good to split your starting farm, or to have players help you go ahead and secure down what you can? And that does seem to be like the case. Here comes Lutano already as the Dodrio level 5, looking at Forest. Can they get that? Chasing, gets that damage straight through. Gonna go ahead and do that now. Trying to go ahead and look for more match going through. Lutano dropping dangerously low. Can they get away from the last hit? No. The damage is going to be there for the Mew. Meanwhile, up at top, you know, TTV just getting a couple scores through. Zug just having to play defense on his own. But we will see as Toon is actually going to come down here. Going to recover, get a little bit of HP back. But Tacenda Black definitely trying to change things up from last game.
And that is good. You know, it was very close in the last game until that final stretch. And so if you think about it from those perspectives, obviously we're going to see Mew bring down a Mew. So it's Mew on Mew on Mews, ladies and gentlemen. But simultaneously, a lot going on with the score. We're obviously going to notice Tacenda, that this is kind of the note we were making, is that with both of these teams kind of coming out on the aggression, kind of coming out early on strong, but also what happened in the final stretch last time. So Tacenda Black really needs to do this. They need to make that just snowball throughout this, because we are 2 minutes in, and they need to basically take this score and snowball it is, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they have to utilize this early aggression to keep TTV down. And if they happen to do that, then that will really play out in their favor. That's what they're looking at. Oh, Oblivion dropping dangerously low. Lutano gonna go ahead and get that KO right before. Not even gonna get slept. Has enough time and speed to go ahead and get out of there. Meanwhile, Toonslim already getting pushed away by Bora, but Lutano trying to get this KO onto Forest. Gonna get put to sleep. Bora's there to go ahead and clean that up as well. It looks like Indy is not gonna go ahead and pursue that fight unless Retsu wants to do something about it at top. But we will see how well these teams are going to go ahead and start rotating, utilizing their abilities. There's the Electro Web and the bring down for Freak. Good job overall by TTV to just rotate this through, getting ready for that first objective up here at top.
Well, what you said about Tacenda Black earlier is the truth about this match, is that you cannot drop even for a second. The thing is, that's easier said than done, right? I mean, that sounds probably difficult as it is, I guess, but think about going up against a team like this. Now, Tacenda Black has proven, I mean, look at this. There's a nice secure against Lutano, who's just out of control most of the time. So, again, Tacenda Black is certainly capable. You've got these capable hands. Look at that. They're going to bring down Indy Bear as well. These KOs are crucial. You need to continue this the whole time, though. You cannot drop even for a minute of this match. You know, they've got to be on their best. And so right now, I think they're trying to bring us their best. They are keeping that score up. I notice TTV does want to keep it at least close. If we can just not make that gap too wide, because TTV knows it too, clearly. You know, so there's going to be a nice 30 for them on purple. Indy will go ahead and secure KO with the help of our Dodrio Lutano right now. And so right here, you're just going to see a very intense match, I think, is just sort of the gist of it, right? And so they will go ahead and secure some HP regen right now, but Reggie Eliki on the field.
Yeah, Reggie Eliki and well, Reg Steele got brought down pretty quickly. So we'll see if the rest of the team is going to go ahead and find an opening here. If they are going to apply the pressure up at top, or if they are going to go ahead and play it together once again. It just looks like it's a little split right now. Tacenda Black looking to overcap here. That's going to be a beautiful dunk if they happen to get that through. And meanwhile, Aleki gonna get started up here, but a little bit of pressure here by Forest, and the rest of Tacenda Black coming in through here, trying to bring down Retsu. That's gonna be the quick burst here. Now Aleki dropping dangerously low this time, and it's gonna go and favor Tacenda Black this time. So TTV gonna have to go ahead and play a little bit of defense against this Aleki here.
Yeah, that was really well done, because Lutano did try to come in for the assist, you know, maybe try to steal and stuff on that Eliki. Tacenda was ready for that, because you saw actually Freak, the Absol, was you know, ready to intercept. And so again, Tacenda just like playing this really well to be able to hold off TTV at every junction. And so part of that has also been the takedown of Lutano. I would say with little difficulty, Lutano has had levels above in the previous matches. So against the other team Clash, but also against Tacenda in the last game. And so bringing Lutano down has been helpful. Notice Lutano, though, trying to, you know, maybe get some of this momentum going, bring these KOs, and you got some pockets right now that are, you know, full of some points, but Absol, you know, has made that mark clear to bring down Lutano multiple times this match. And so there we go. It's going to be Retsu now taken down, kind of on the trade-off to bring down Absol right there and have a KO streak of 2. So we do see the Unite moves flying. That was definitely quite an intense set of matchups right here. Indie Bear also going to secure a KO right here on the end of it all, and maybe a score of 40, but no, that will be interrupted with Tacenda right here. And then going to be brought down to Retsu on a roll.
Yeah, you're going to go ahead and trade out the Pikachu there, but the damage still coming through. Freak utilizing that Midnight Slash to maybe deal a little bit of damage. Retsu kind of in trouble here, gonna get caught out on this side. No, the double slash is gonna be able to clean up one. Can they get another? No. Retsu's gonna get brought down. The trade's gonna be 1-for-1 at the moment. Meanwhile, down at bottom, there's been a skirmish down here for the rock. It looks like it is gonna go towards Tacenda. We go ahead and get a little bit of defense rolling their way, but Lutano's saying, I'm gonna go ahead and burst that down as quickly as I can. Gonna go ahead and bring down Bora to start, but it looks like Lutano might want to go for this, or just, never mind, just going to go ahead and pick up some of the points off the floor and get ready to apply a little bit more pressure to top.
Well, while that Eos energy is great, Lutano definitely with the eyes on the prize of getting these levels, right? So we're going to see even more farm go down right here, the Wilds. And just as we were mentioning earlier, Lutano kind of down in levels in comparison, now right back up. So that's the thing. Again, you cannot falter at any junction here in this match if you're Tacenda Black. And so that's what makes this very scary going up against an opponent like TTV, who has now then taken Reggie Eliki, which will be making the push there on the top. Notice Tacenda, though, on the bottom, simultaneously 44 dunked in right here. So looking very nice, but the Reggie Eliki did touch down. So you got to think, yes, there it is, the 50. You're waiting for that person. Who had the 50? And it was obviously Mew there for TTV to drop that in on a charge goal.
Yeah, and they are still trying to run it down right now. TTV trying to zone off a couple of the players here from Tacenda Black, but they made the right choice here. They were saying we want to go ahead and trade this out. We can. Looks like there's a little bit of a skirmish going on in this mid area, but right now just trying to get the priorities to go ahead and score. Toon is actually going to do that with the goal getter at the moment, dropping dangerously low. Freak is going to go ahead and get that KO. But relatively solid timing in terms of respawn and getting ready for that final stretch.
And that final stretch here in Game 2 will be here in just about 10 seconds. Not a whole lot's going to happen in between now and then, but because, I mean, clearly you're going to see the mini-map has our countdown, so you're not going to have a bottom Reggie right there, and Reggie Eliki not going to be a factor. So that final stretch now here, Kanashi, what do you think is going to happen? We have positioning for both squads.
Yeah, you see Tacenda Black kind of playing a little bit of a defensive kind of style here, and it's because they understand that they have the lead here. They're ready to just make sure that, okay, well, they're not going to go score if they're not going to go for Ray. There's no reason for us to really be standing up there. You do see Lutano checking the bush, might be able to get a sneaky score going in the back already, but the first burst is going to go through, and the second and the third quick scores coming in from the Dodrio. Gonna cost them their life, though. It's gonna be 2 down for the side of TTV. Now Tacenda Black has the numbers going 3v5 here in the second game. Looking at Zugrug, kind of bursting him down. Bora gonna have that damage, and now it's up to Retsu and the crew to maybe possibly get in here. Already down to a quarter HP. Gudagron coming straight through, not gonna be in time, and it looks like Tacenda Black is gonna go ahead and secure down the Rake. So we'll see if TTV has enough to go ahead and burst this down. The score is relatively close, though, still overall. Trying to go ahead and get through these barriers. It's not going to break down that first one. That's going to be 66 going for Tacenda at the moment, but the rest of the team has already scored in the middle goal all the way back. They're going to go ahead and bring down Lutano. This is a good answer by Tacenda Black overall, and TTV definitely trying to figure out what to do here for Game 3.
That will be the Hundo Duncan several times from Tacenda Black. Unite runs on Hundo Duncan, ladies and gentlemen, and you saw it happen. TTV really crafty. The Dodrio strategy, it was working. It was good. It was, a bold move. It's just they didn't want to drop. So that's where you notice everything just started to change rapidly. And so definitely kudos to Tacenda Black for picking up on it, and just not letting anything break them essentially in that goal. So there's going to be a nice 70 dunked in from Mew right here for Tacenda. But hey, the time is already up. The match was already over kind of before that, you could say, just with that extreme kind of score differential there as the final stretch continued. So right here, we will see that final score amount to 762 right here for Tacenda, 279 for TTV.
Yeah, this was a good answer by Tacenda Black. What they did is that they made sure that Lutano couldn't quite get the levels and the scoring, and they were very diligent about playing defense, especially in that final stretch. So as you saw, Lutano and Indy just trying to push down a little bit at the bottom goal, they really punished that aggression and then turned that 3v5 fight that they had at the Rayquaza to go ahead and start it, to go ahead and secure it down and make sure that their win was going to be there. So really good game overall. Good adjustments by Tacenda Black as well. Really like that. So now that we are going to be heading into Game 3, both these teams have a victory under their belt. Definitely looking to be a very interesting series.
You gotta hand it to Oblivion here, playing as that Mew. 223 on the score, wearing the crown today. Also, the 9, the 6. I mean, it's looking great. It's a good job to Oblivion. Morning, though, carrying it up with 211. Freak, 186. I mean, this is very, very nice looking if you're Tacenda. I think that we've, done quite a good analysis on that, sure, but you just got to hand it to a team like them to be able to hold off a team like TTV. So this is anybody's match. This is anybody's grand finals, you guys. 1-1 for each of these squads here.
Another thing that I do want to point out is like how well Forest positions themselves like in these fights, because the way how Lutano wants to get in, they have to get in close to get their damage running through. The way how Forest positions themselves in order to go ahead and get into these fights is to just say like, okay, well, if you guys are going to get close, we're going to slow you up and then we're going to try to burst it down. Takes a lot of the damage for the team, which is ideal for your tank position, but it's going to be really interesting to see if there is going to be a change or a switch up in terms of either composition or play style. So overall, I honestly think, just put their hand a little too far in the cookie jar this time. But I do think that the adjustment will be made moving forward into the next one.
This is generally where Kanashi and I try to figure out what do you do if you're the losing team, but when it's 1-1, really anybody's movements, anybody's changes here can have a big or maybe not huge significant impact, but Retsu will stay with that Aegislash and definitely did a lot of, what would you say, a lot of dirty deeds, I would say, in that last match, Retsu.
Yeah, did a lot of damage in these especially the first parts of the fights. You do see Retsu, like, I just caught it like real quickly, they did switch to the attack weight off of the float stone. Originally, they were just trying to go ahead and chase down some couple players here and there, but going to be really interesting to see if there is going to be even more like just small micro changes moving forward. But overall, both these teams just kind of sticking with their guns. We'll see if there is going to be a switch up in the way how they play, if there's going to be a different approach. It's kind of becoming like this back and forth of them understanding what their opponents want to do and how they are going to answer back.
Absolutely right. So if you're just now joining us, ladies and gentlemen, this is Game 3 here in the Grand Finals. We've got 1 victory for Tacenda, 1 victory for TTV. These juggernauts of teams going at it. And so, yes, we see you guys. Paladin, we got Blue, Hero. Thank you guys so much for being here in that chat. That is the ready go for Game 3. And I appreciate it, says Dr. Kendo. That was a cute pup. Thank you, Lucario Simp. But yes, this match has begun.
Yeah, and pup not in, as in like the actual dog, not the power-up punch. So,
yes.
Unfortunately, we don't have the Lucario in this match, but we still have the 3-headed bird, 2-headed at the moment, trying to figure out the ways how they can change things up and really make it easier for Lutano to get these levels and start having a bigger impact moving forward. You do see a quick invade by Indy, might steal that away, and he does. Really good slowing up of the progress here as Lutano is going to try to get a little bit of damage going at the start of this fight here.
Indy invade. It sounds good, but here we go. Dodrio, we're going to bring down kind of an early KO here on Absol and then early dunks in. And TTV might be taking kind of that page out of Tacenda from the last match. Tacenda came out strong. Both of these teams have been doing it all tournament where they come out aggressive. They score a lot in the beginning, get a lot of those wilds as quick as they possibly can. Notice Tacenda just going to answer that right back, though, here as we look on the bottom path, excuse me. And we're at 43 to 43 exact. It's not easy to fall right on the exact point markers, but that just goes to show you exactly what's on these teams' minds.
Yeah, and meanwhile, while Tacenda Black is currently applying pressure there, Lutano just trying to be a menace and keep this Gengar from getting the levels that they need. And applying more pressure to this top lane. Just that is exactly what you want out of your speed bird, is to go in here, apply a ton of pressure, and just make it really tough for Tacenda Black to really get their levels and run with it.
Looks like Robes there in the chat said, let's go Tacenda, Morning and Freak, bring it home for the boys. One thing that Freak was doing last match, which I think Lutano has actually, more to his credit, maybe kind of been watching out for, is Freak was pulling off a lot of those earlier KOs and mid-game KOs against Lutano to sort of keep that three-headed bird from getting too extreme. You can see Lutano now at level 8, you know, kind of ahead of the pack. You do have Haunter there for Tacenda Black to match that with Bora, but ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this bird, if it gets out of control, that's where Tacenda's got to be. They're going to be a little bit more on their heels. So you're right, you know, Freak, actually, you got to have some eyes on Freak right there. Hey, Bora going to go ahead and just say, I want revenge. I'm going to take you out because that bird took me out a few times. But like I say, it was Freak in the game 2 that kind of expertly held Lutano at bay for a while.
Yeah, and that is the play. You do see the fadeaway jump shot coming out from Toon right there. Go ahead and get that last hit, but we're about to get into our first objectives, the 7-minute objectives, being 1 Reggie and 1 Aleki for sure. We'll see how it goes. You do see the pursuit starting out here by Freak, trying to deal some damage to Toon Slim, but Zugrug's already there with a Psychic, and the damage is already there. Bora trying to burst down the Mew, but it's going to go ahead and pop the Unite move to go ahead and back out of here. Now we have a little bit of a skirmish. The damage is already there. Bora just teleporting all over the place. Lutano also trying to get a little bit of speed, might be able to get out as well. We will see. They are chasing around Indy. That is the case. Lutano building up the speed, getting a little bit of the damage with the tri-attack. Now it's going to be the bird versus the ghost. Can they get it? The quick score going to come through. Going to be able to score twice already, but the damage is already done. Now already focusing down to Tacenda Black, trying to get this Regice going their way, just getting a little bit of pressure and HP regen. Meanwhile, up at top, Aleki is still untouched at the moment.
That is correct, but we can see on our mini-map for sure, the team's converging on that spot, and so Freak right now being brought down to half, and there it goes. It's just a vicious Retsu right here on that Ganondorf sword. It is looking nice today, so thank you, Retsu, for showing us how that Aegislash is done, man. And so right now, that goal on the top, just 2 points. And so ultimately, if Reggie Aleki was to be taken by TTV, they could try to just break the goal first, if possible, so that when the Reggie Aleki, it would not touch down on it to cap for that, so they could actually go to the second goal. So there it is. There's that opening that we talk about. Even a 6 is worth it. You know, you may not be looking for that overcap of like 50 in that moment, for example. That's an extreme example. But yes, Indy will go ahead and take down actually another, as well as Lutano bringing down the Mime. So this is looking great for TTV. A series of KOs as they can walk into Aleki here for that T2 goal. And look at this, even scoring on that and just destroying.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and break that goal. And it was really good micro play coming out from TTV, but it looks like they're not, Tacenda Black is not done here. Looking at Toon Slim, trying to go ahead and break them down. Freak trying to get that chase through. Going to get the Sing, but it's going to get traded out here 1-for-1. But overall, what they did is that they said, okay, we're going to break that first goal just to apply a little bit of pressure. Now, if we go for the second one, if we do get any Alekis moving forward, it will threaten that front goal. It either gives them more space to work down at bottom, or more space to even go ahead and take some experience and farm away from Tacenda Black. So TTV definitely playing with more of the positioning game in mind, and trying to take up as much of the map as possible.
And it is paying off, and I do like actually what Blue Kiro was saying, unfortunately Volt Pika, that pick might make it difficult for the Absol. And so yeah, we've seen Freak get a little bit pulled back, let's say, just kind of not at the full potential that we saw, for instance, in Game 2. And that was a big turning point, actually. And so we are noticing, like Hanashi mentioned, it's the positioning, it's everything right here. And so TTV is just on it. Look at that. If you let Lutano get out of control, it will be just that definition of out of control. So left side team, they'll go ahead. Tacenda will pick up another Reggie, and we have about 20 seconds till the next Aleki.
Yeah, and once again, just harking back to that Pikachu pick as the support, Volt Tackle just gives you so much time to either position or get KOs set up. And we've seen it with the play with Retsu here. Retsu's actually going to go down, but you could utilize Volt Tackle to set up like a coup de grace. You want that damage to just go immediately on top of them. It's just set up for your team to get ready. So utilizing the support Pikachu, giving it a little bit of space, a little bit more bulk, is really helping him out. But we do have Aleki coming back. We do see a skirmish starting out here. Tacenda Black going to drop down with one player already for us, going to get traded out here as well. And now TTV going to go ahead and look for this Aleki here.
Getting close to 3 minutes on the timer. We do have that very astute chat here, and I love to see it, you guys. You're bringing up very wonderful points. You notice that Aleki slightly contested. We're going to back off it a little bit from TTV's perspective because you do not want that stolen right now if your plan is in motion. So there you go. You're going to bring down that Mew, and a Mew that's been doing actually a lot this game for Tacenda. So that was a significant pickoff, I would say. Right here, Absol actually looking to make the pursuit, and then look at this. Lutano is still in this. It was a wonderful target, but Retsu on that sword is just dangerous. So if you're going to get in the pack of that, I mean, even if Retsu goes down right here, it did stop Lutano, that bird, from falling. Meanwhile, Aleki will actually regenerate right here, so we're going to kind of reset all of this.
It's actually a really smart play by TTV. What they're doing is that they're starting Aleki to get Tacenda Black to commit to this fight and say like, oh, well, we can't let them have the Aleki. But if they do, they're trickling in like very, very slowly here. So if anything, TTV is just trying to get the numbers advantage moving forward, trying to bring down Freak, and they are actually going to get the Solar Beam onto Lutano, get that KO. But TTV going to go ahead and secure this down now, and especially as it's getting closer to the final stretch, it becomes even more important for Tacenda Black to go ahead and stop this. The score right now, obviously, like really, really close, but final stretch is going to make it even closer as we are heading into this final bout here.
Yes, the timing for TTV on that Aleki, wonderful. And notice Retsu going for that Rayquaza right at the moment. Lots of people dropping down low right here, so this is getting a little bit dangerous for either side, really. You do have 2 drops on Tacenda Black currently, but notice this significant takedown of Gengar right here. This is going to be wonderful. TTV bringing down any of this purple squad. Tacenda Black is going to help. In this moment, though, Mime will actually bring down Toon as our very capable Mew right here. So this is just back and forth. As you see, Rayquaza now at about 75%. The Pikachu is going at it right here, and there it is. That wonderful teamwork setup from Zug and the support Pika. And then Lutano just comes in for the KO, ladies and gentlemen. We have almost a minute left here, and TTV can absolutely do this. If Tacenda, also very capable of doing this as well, because you see, this is exactly what TTV doesn't want. They could burst it behind their backs. So right here, the Unite moves will fly. We're going to see Mew. We're going to see Wigglytuff. Everybody is in the thick of it. Zugrug as that tanky Mime. The showtime is down, ladies and gentlemen. This could be anybody's Ray, but notice that TTV gonna pull off yet another series of KOs against Tacenda Black. And then you got that Bird Dodrio. That's gonna be Lutano. Here we go. Not a hundo Duncan until all 3 heads are scoring. Rayquaza is secured for TTV, and they dunk that in. A total, certainly to match up for the books right here. And you're maybe going to see those Hundo Duncan. Okay, yeah, there we go. I get to say it. Hundo Duncan for TTV right here. They will go ahead and take Game 3, Kanashi, in what was certainly an intense final stretch.
Yeah, and it really did come down to how well Indy played the support Pikachu. The things that you see in these matchups is in the middle of these fights, landing that Volt Tackle makes that one Pokemon just you don't have that Pokemon anymore. They have enough damage to go ahead and burst that through. So when it does come down to the squishy Pokemon like Freak and Bora here on this Gengar and Absol, just being held up here and bursted down, it changes the way how these teams are approaching each other here. And so when you have certain things, and like TTV was playing this really smart too, they knew that, you know, the original Aleki was up at the top. They were like, let's start it. Let's force Tacenda to come to us. Let's take those fights. Try to secure it as late as possible. And once they finally do, then they have the trifecta again. You have the Aleki walk, you have the Ray contest, and you have that bottom goal still open. So just making it really tough for Tacenda Black to really pick, it's like essentially pick your poison at this point.
Well, what I really like about mentioning that is that essentially the support player sometimes on any team, and support, you know, where am I support at in the chat basically, but I am one of these. I think Kanashi is actually one of these. We don't often always get the kind of outward in your face glory, and so it's good for Kanashi to point it out and analyze this, and for all of us to think about that. You see Indy Bear right there, 10 points, that's okay. Like Indy, that completely playing that role to a T, and so like Kanashi's mentioned, support Pikachu is just extremely interesting, but aside from that, don't get the score confused there. You know, this is exactly what a support player can do, is they can not get that kind of glory, right? We're not getting the, like, very evident outward in your face damage numbers, score numbers, these sorts of things, right? So wonderful job, my hat tip to you. But keep in mind, though, if you do want to see some guts and glory, Oblivion there for Tacenda. I mean, 86k, really been playing a brilliant Mew the entire tourney for the Unite Clash. Like to see it. I don't think Oblivion should change it up or anything like that. You do have to wonder, though, you know, is Freak, the Absol, being kind of pinned down here? Like, are they taking down the Achilles heel that was a Pokemon, for example, and a player who was taking out Lutano earlier? So what is it? You know, do you have any thoughts, Ganashi, or is this more just one of those brain busters?
But it looks like, once again, they are sticking to their guns here. I wouldn't mind seeing the opposite. Instead of it going for speed, go for something with a little bit more tank, like something that could absorb a couple more hits from Lutano, and maybe have that output damage as well. Like, we still haven't seen the way how, you know, Dodrio has to deal with something possibly like a T-Tar, or even a more tankier, if you really do like believe that you could get the levels, even something like Garchomp might make it even tougher for Dodrio to go ahead and collapse on. But we'll see what Tacenda Black decides to do. It looks like it is just going to be the same thing over again. Just, you know, we'll see how well they approach this game. And I mean, it worked out for game 2. Maybe even numbers are just their thing. So we'll see if they do make an adjustment to go ahead and slow down any of these other Pokemon that are coming out for TTV right now.
Certainly so. And so I should also mention Lucario Sim saying, just realized TTV playing only one support and Indy playing attacker. You just have to make sure that that's only by role that the game designates. This TTV team has been playing them their own way. So like our chat's now saying, Leafstone said Indy's playing support Pika. It is so true. I mean, if you ever thought you might never see a support Pika in this game, there it is. Look at Indy Bear. Just watch with, you know, bated breath, and watch with your closest of eyes, basically, on that, because it has been quite interesting to see, my friends. As we open up this game, we are looking at somewhat the standard of what we've seen so far, but again, you got to watch this song and dance from Lutano and Toon Slim. Toon will do the damage, and Mew can do that, you know, kind of this quick burst, and then Lutano finishes it up. So it's a brilliant symphony, again, of playing your role perfectly and assisting each other with teamwork.
Yeah, and the support Pika has been something that we've seen in the APAC region, actually. It was something that was utilized quite a bit, but hasn't been really brought over to the States here, or, you know, EU. It's something that, you know, Pikachu is just known for usually like dealing that burst damage, having that damage straight through, but they're utilizing it more in a way of just holding and locking down certain Pokemon. So once again, Volt Tackle and Electro Ball, in order to help with damage and slowing a little bit, it's really helping them out in these fights. So you do see a skirmish starting it out down here at bottom. See, there's that Electro Web already starting up on Forest, making sure that they can't go ahead and run straight through. The TTV and Tacenda Black are just going to go ahead and poke and prod here. Lutano trying to look for some opening in terms of their farm in their central area, but we'll see if that is going to be a little risky. We do see the two speedsters, even 3, with Mew starting to show their head a little bit. We'll see if that is going to be the case moving forward.
So you've got the slashing, you've got the pecking, and there it is. The pecking order is that this birdie is going to be eventually brought down, actually. But in the middle of that sentence, I was going to say bring down an Absol. Notice, of course, Tacenda Black will go on the KO streak of 2. Oblivion, once again, very, very capable with this Mew. So if you want kind of that master class in Mew play, be looking at Oblivion. Toon Slim also been playing a very wonderful Mew. But man, Oblivion, you can definitely see it in the scoring, especially if you're looking at a Mew that gets in those scores. Notice Bora will drop down right here. This is about Lutano again with that bird. Do you shut it down, or are your squishy Pokemon going to be brought down? And look at that. You're going to see maybe a little bit less squishy are still brought down as well. Those 3 heads, they're scoring in quick right here. A little bit of interruption, but hey, we're going to get those in, and Freak is still trying to apply that pressure on Lutano. Can he bring him down? Instead, brought down himself.
Yeah, it did cost them the Lutano Dodrio, but they were able to get a couple of KOs on the way out, and now they have to go ahead and back up here. Tacenda Black is really answering back here, just trying to slow down the progress of Lutano, just hyper focusing on these birds. But meanwhile, TTV is just kind of playing it their own way. They're saying if you want to get aggressive on the rest of them, we will find another way to get damage straight through. They're looking at Forest right now. The slash coming straight through. The solar beam is going to miss thanks to Bora's teleport, going to be able to get them out of these certain fights. And now they're looking to go ahead and score. Retsu trying to get the 7 through, but it looks like the wide guard is going to be there in time. And a quick burst and break there, getting ready for this Aleki that is just spawned in, and TTV is just ready to go ahead and get these.
For a long moment there, only 1 point separated our teams, but we're now at 91 to 111 right here. Reggie Eleki secured for TTV means that this could potentially change, but this might be a little bit more of what you're seeing transpire on the mini-map is set it and then forget about it, you know? So they set it like a trap, Tacenda's got to go for it, deal with that, and then they can kind of divert their resources, use them in other places. Notice Dodrio, we're still going out of control right here as Lutano, going to be at level 10 right there, and as well as get in some of these scores. So that's very, very nicely done because that was under a lot of pressure. I do want to note also what Titan Bronco's saying. It's just we don't even get a free moment as there is action all over this map and all over this game. So this is what you want. The intensity is certainly dialed up. But just to finish out that thought is that Tacenda Black running, their team is double speedster, right? So the Gengar, the Absol, that the only issue here is that we are maybe trying to bring down, you know, the Dodrio that we keep talking about. But when you get met with the sword, when you get met with maybe one of these contenders like that, you're going to be brought down a little bit easier. So the squishies we've kind of mentioned a lot, and I know Kanashi has touched on that as well.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate part about speedsters. They have high damage, they have high mobility, but at the cost of HP and sustainability. And that is something that, you know, Pikachu can, like, might not have the damage itself to go ahead and get, but once you pair that up with anybody who has damage, it just becomes an open kill. You have the open KO just being able to dash onto somebody, get that quick, and get that down. So you do see the answer right here trying to slow that up. The fadeaway jumper from Toon Slim to go ahead and push away the rest of the crew here. Indy trying to get that quick stun up here on Bora. You do see the Electro Ball followed by the Surf, and the last hit coming through from Toon as well. They're going to go ahead and look at whatever Reggie this happens to be, but the rest of the team is already here for TTV, and Tacenda Black is kind of splitting it up as well.
I should just mention as a production note kind of two things. One, it's hard to spectate sometimes actually with the new map, is that you used to always know that the teams were going to converge on Dreadnought if they knew what they were doing, you know, and then Rotom, you'd kind of have that 1 point for all 5 players on each team. Notice Tacenda Black, if you want to talk about all the players, most of their players right there on this top path, they're going to have their choice. They take down the goal and then bring out Reggie Eleki, and kind of with time to spare. So that's very much going to favor Tacenda Black, but that's what I was trying to say. Sometimes when you're spectating, so please, you know, make sure you know that. If you ever kind of see a commentator, see a tournament be organized like this, give them a little bit of slack on the spectator cam. Makes it a little bit harder on Thea Sky, but hey, that is a lot of action right here to call out, my friends. Other last production note is just kind of a menial one, is just that don't re-upload this if it's not your content basically out there. So anybody that's not authorized to do so, please don't be re-uploading our content. Thank you.
Yep, that's about it as we are getting closer to our games. You know, we are slowly approaching that final stretch, and the thing that I did want to point out here, yeah, it's really tough to spectate when both Reggies are kind of okay. Like, you can grab whichever one you want, but more priority in our games to go ahead and get Eleki first. But
yeah, definitely.
Also, like, it depends on where the team is at that spawn timer. We already see the damage coming straight through from Toon Slim to go ahead and get that KO, and you see that the Volt Tackle really just slowing things up. Lutano trying to now focus down Freak. You have the damage straight through. Retsu also going to follow this up. Midnight Slash coming through from Freak. Not going to quite get a lot of pressure there, but you do see the rest of TTV just trying to get something rolling for them. The Unstoppable going to make sure that Retsu doesn't go to sleep here, but he's still diving in here, looking at Forest. The Solar Beam going to be able to bring down Retsu this time, and now TTV slowly trying to retreat out of this fight, if that is going to be the case. Toon Slim trying to figure out a way in. Lutano keeping that sprint gauge up and going for themselves, getting that jump kick over the wall as well, and slowly getting ready for this final stretch here.
You're seeing a lot of full pockets ready for that final stretch, at least on the side of TTV. But hey, even on some of Tacenda Black's, this is a very, very close score. So this is, you know, to me as a spectator, this is great. For either of the other two teams, you're probably sweating, no matter who you are. 174 to 186 means that we could just get a little 5 or a little 6 or something like that and make a very different game right here. So Reggie Eliki will now advance for Tacenda. That's going to be a nice pickup right there as Kanashi says, ooh, yeah, you're right. It is a close battle. Kanashi, let us know what happens here in this final stretch.
Yeah, they do trade Lutano out for the Wiggly, but you do see the Aleki already making its march and move there. So Aleki's going to touch down. That's going to give Bora the option to score that 100, and that's going to be the first Hundo Duncan going on and in the first 20 seconds of the final stretch, and they are looking to go ahead and score and maybe even apply more pressure this time. So now TTV has got to find a way in, either through Ray or to find an opening of their own here. The minute 30, just trying to figure out where they want to go for Tacenda Black. Now you see them already playing kind of a defensive game. They got the quick score. They know that they have the lead. So now it is going to be up to TTV to kind of make that push and take the initiative to go ahead and get them out and ready to fight. You already see them starting to chip away at Rayquaza here, trying to get a little bit of the team out. There's that Volt Tackle followed by the Unite move, and this time Zugrug's actually going to go ahead and secure that down. Lutano already sprinting. Retsu dropping its shield really quickly. Might not even have it to get this Hundo Duncan through, so instead he's going to opt for violence instead, going for those KOs. Freak is going to go ahead and bring him down. So now TTV trying to score as much as they can. You do see Indy rotating back already, hiding in the bush, trying to go ahead and bring down Freak. There goes the instant hit, followed by the Volt Tackle, trying to get a little bit of damage through. Going to get that first KO there, playing a lot of defense. Morning trying to get a little bit of space here, rotating the rest of the team in. Toon Slim coming through, utilizing that surf to go ahead and play that defense, try to keep Indy up. There's a Volt Tackle into the surf, followed by the fadeaway jumper. Can they get that? Yes, that's going to be another KO there for TTV. And now the dunks coming through, utilizing Lutano. Utilizing Lutano's 3 heads, going to get brought down. Zugrug trying to look for a little bit more full pockets here, still getting pushed away by Oblivion, and now just trying to zone him off as the timer is going down. The GG is going to come through, and TTV is going to be our champions here.
That was a final stretch that was just on fire, both sides, but TTV showing you when the chips are down, we can still just kind of clutch this out with a final score of 430 points to 306 for Tacenda right there. TTV, your champions. Lutano at 240 on the scoring right here, wearing the crown. But again, it takes that whole team. It takes the symphony to play a beautiful, beautiful tune here. And you got to hand it to Tacenda, though. This has been a team that really rose to the occasion, I would say, on the entire Unite Clash tournament today. And Bora with that 147, looking real nice, wearing the crown for Tacenda Black right there. Wonderful job to all competitors, for sure.
Yeah, really good game. One thing that I do want to point out, you do see Indy Bear there with 11 assists on this Pikachu. And that honestly is like part of that game plan that we were talking about. You know, Volt Tackle and Electro Ball, just being able to get the slow and the hold in there in time for the rest of the team to go ahead and get that KO. Worked out really well against a team like Tacenda Black, you know, where you do have Pokemon that are pretty squishy, but overall just applying pressure, making it really tough for them to really get in on these fights. So I really do like the way how Indy was playing this. Meanwhile, on Tacenda Black, they also did a really good job of just bursting down Pokemon when they did have the chance. They kept Lutano down for a lot of the game, but when it does come down to the way how, you know, TTV operates, it just becomes, yeah, sure, you might have taken out, you know, part of our team, but we know the way how to rotate back and how to help them get their levels back. So really good recovery coming out from majority of this. Once again, Oblivion, like, just 106 on that damage number right there. So much damage coming out from the Mew. So might not, you know, they do have that number there, but really tough game overall for both these teams, really.
Certainly so. We're seeing her chat say, what an end game. That was Nick Star. And then over there, Leafstone saying that was a crazy end game. Bubble Bum, Pikachu support. You're giving us those emotes too. We'd like to see that with it. But ladies and gentlemen, Victory Road Unite Clash number 14. We most likely will see the bracket just right on cue. Thank you, guys. That's TTV taking the crown right here. Lutano, Zugrug, Retsu, Toon, Indy. Wonderful jobs. And please do what this says. This was what I was about to say as well. Follow Victory Road on the socials. I did just want to point out for our Twitch viewers today, we are on Victory Road _Unite now. We used to do tourneys, under the Victory Road umbrella as like a main channel. Please make sure that your friends, any viewers that you knew, are following us over here on this channel now. So, that would be very much appreciated. But if you want to stay up to date, up to the second, that Twitter, definitely check that out. It's also in the About panel, so that'll be easy clicking for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we really thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this was a wonderful path to get to where we were, hotly contested from all teams doing really well today. Just to kind of close things out, I'll just say I am Dr. Kendo of the Pokemon Master Kendo channel, always here to commentate these unless, I think the only one I missed was due to COVID one time, and so that was the unfortunate one that I missed, but, otherwise, I usually like to be here for commentating with my friend, who I'm going to pass the mic off to as I step away, Kanashi.
Yeah, definitely a fun matchup overall. Great teams, interesting compositions, and honestly, one that was up in the air for majority of the game. But once again, thank you everybody for tuning in and enjoying Victory Road Unite Clash number 14. Congratulations to TTV for taking home the crown, and to Tacenda Black for giving us an amazing grand finals that will definitely be one to watch over and over again. As final heads up, once again, that's Dr. Kendo. I'm Kanashi. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.